Good evening and welcome to the Junior High Band Concert. Some of you already had the privilege of enjoying the choir concert. And the 7th grade band is on stage right now. Some of you may wonder, why do we do 2 concerts in one night like that? And the reason is because we have a very active group of students in the junior high school, and they like to do athletics and other things. So what we try to do is schedule 2 concerts for one night, because it makes it easier for the athletic department to schedule around us, rather than having, for example, if we did Christmas concerts, everybody had their own night, there would be 13 programs. And it's impossible for the athletic department not to, so we try not to create conflicts so our kids can do everything. This is just an update for you. Last time we were together, they were 6th graders in the gym at Mackinac Trail, and we've been doing some work and learning some new things, and they're focusing on some things that they're going to be tested on tomorrow. And I know that all of you are really excited about the fact that new legislation in education requires a lot more tests, including in band class. So they will be listening to their concert tomorrow and responding to it. And so if you want to talk to them about their program and things that you heard, that will help them tomorrow. So the 6th grade band is going to start with a march called Forward March. Raised eyebrows, Mr. Filkins, you said the wrong thing. We're going to be starting with Scarborough Fair, which is a traditional first test. We're going to be starting with Scarborough Fair, and Scarborough Fair in the book, it's what I use at the beginning of every 7th grade band to as a test. I told them all last spring that this would be their test. And when you hear it, I'm sure, oh yeah, they practiced that 1,000 times. And if they practiced it 0, oh, that's where that number came from in the grade book. So. Next, we'll be playing a piece, as you can tell, I'm really excited to play, Forward March. And next we're going to play another march, a little more difficult, called Band in the Square on the 4th of July. And it starts really quiet and it ends really quiet, as if you were sitting watching a parade go by. It was far away and hard to hear, and then it gets louder as they get closer, and then fades away again as they march away. Welcome to the show. Tonight we have been asked to share a video that sets the stage for future planning at Cadillac Area Public Schools. We are grateful for the generous contribution made by individuals that were willing to be videotaped for the project, and Boardman Video Production for their donation of time and talent. This informational video is intended to invite everyone to join the conversation about planning for the next 50 years of educating CAPS kids. Your voice matters. Community forums will take place on November 1st and 9th at 6:30 p.m. in the Media Center right across the hall. A light dinner will be provided.
Part of a team.
To create.
To perform.
To play.
To be engaged.
To grow strong. To be inspired.
Cadillac Schools embodies a rich history. Nearly 50 years ago, the Board of Education and Community renamed the schools Cadillac Area Public Schools, setting forth a plan to provide students excellence in academics, the arts, and athletics. We hope to recognize where we have come in the past 50 years and set forth a course that defines a future that includes educator, parent, student, and community input as we reestablish our shared values. In 50 years, we acknowledge that many things have changed. We accept the need to consider future possibilities while respecting our responsibility to children's safety, advancing technology, and real-world learning experiences.
We hope to set the course together and encourage feedback and participation. We're asking for your help as CAPS considers some serious questions regarding education for today and for the future.
We want to engage the entire community, everyone, giving us input about what it's going to take to educate our children for the next 50 years.
Our community is healthy and growing.
We're welcoming.
We believe in strong, collaborative community relationships.
We know our legacy is important.
We believe in partnering for kids because all of our futures depend on it.
We know that this is a community that cares. Thank you for your help as we take this journey together.
We know that education is critical for growth, and our kids deserve the best.
For generations, Cadillac Public Schools has prepared students well for the future. It all began with one-room schoolhouses.
And spanned 150 years of progress and pride. From farmhouses to a lumbering town, to the establishment of a strong industrial community. In our school's history, the 1950s and 60s are notable in that our one-room schools closed and the current school buildings that we are familiar with were built.
In the 1990s, some dire needs were addressed and the community banded together to support the building of Mackinac Trail Middle School and renovating Lincoln Elementary. Additionally, repairs and improvements were made to Cadillac High School and other aging buildings in the district. In 2017, we will celebrate 50 years of educating students in the district known as Cadillac Area Public Schools. The buildings our students attend range from 20 years old to 100 years old. As education evolves, so does our responsibility to prepare future generations. As we look to the future, we need to consider educational spaces that are efficient, cost-effective, and meet the educational needs of future generations. Cadillac Area Public Schools, a proud heritage.
Our current education was designed for a different age. The factory model principles that had great economic success during the Industrial Revolution were applied to the design of schools. The Industrial Revolution gave way to the Information Age, and a close examination of the role of schools occurred when the Russians put Sputnik into space. As a result, a national movement began to increase expectations, especially in math and science. We began to understand that children learned better by doing and not memorization of facts. And then the internet happened. No longer was just knowing the facts valuable when I can just Google it. Today there is a great value in communication, collaboration, complex problem solving, creating, and innovating. As every country in the world works to reform education so that our children can take their place in a new global economy, we can't prepare them for the future by doing what we have done in the past. Our children are living in the most intensely stimulating period in all of history. Schools need to look different, be different. We need to design educational experiences that wake our children up to their potential and prepare them to be future ready.
Differentiated instruction is when I take into account all the things that make my students who they are. It's essential. It's not just important. It's something that we really have to do, especially in kindergarten. Little bodies were not meant to sit still. I need to give my students the opportunity to move, and I do that by giving them different places where they can do their work. I make sure that my classroom is a place where they can move freely. They have the opportunity to choose where they work. Their need to move is greater than their need to sit still and listen. But if I can give them an outlet, places that they can work, different things that they can use to do their jobs, then it helps them be more successful.
So personalized technology in the classroom means that I have the ability to differentiate for kids based on where they are in their learning. So I have the ability to give feedback that is immediate and is meaningful to individual students. I have the ability to reach kids in a way that is different than I could in the past. We're teaching students skills. We talk about it first on a small scale. Within our classroom, what are our norms? What do people need to do when they comment on someone's blog post? What should they say? What should they not say? Even in terms of responding to each other's writing.
So I built the stand-up tables that are behind me, and we're able to create some tables for kids that got restless sitting in chairs and needed that place to be able to stand up. And it works great. They love them.
School safety is critical to our operations. We take great pride in keeping students safe.
Our country's economy began in agriculture, but quickly evolved to manufacturing throughout the Industrial Revolution. Innovative technologies resulted in automation and globalization. The internet made e-commerce possible and began the longest period of economic expansion. Globalization of manufacturing increased competition to manufacture cheaply. In order to compete, companies were forced to move work to countries with less regulation and lower wages. In the last decade, virtual marketplaces and automation are eliminating the need for low-skill, service-oriented jobs. The workplace has been revolutionized with mobile technologies. There is a need for a future-ready workforce. A workforce that can create, innovate, collaborate, communicate, solve complex problems, think critically, and analyze. We need to anticipate labor gaps and prepare a future workforce. We are living in a world few could imagine 50 years ago. We are now preparing children for jobs that yet do not exist.
As an employer, Cadillac Area Public Schools is a key component to ensure our workforce can compete globally.
The energy industry is changing rapidly, and to compete, we have to hire talented and creative people that can collaborate to solve problems in a changing world.
Healthcare professionals are committed to their own education, and they want the same for their children. It's really important that we have high-performing schools in Cadillac so that we can recruit and retain healthcare professionals in our community.
We need people who are self-directed and motivated to work.
We need creative thinkers who communicate well with our clients.
We need hard workers with strong interpersonal skills.
Skilled workers with tenacity and a willingness to do whatever it takes to get the job done.
School has really
not only taught me academic knowledge, but it's given me the confidence to pursue my goals and succeed in life.
School has taught me to work as a part of a team, which will help me after high school in whatever job I choose to pursue.
Cadillac High School has prepared me for my adult life, especially in the aspect of contributing to my society and being an active member in my community.
We know that CAP staff care about their students and are committed to their craft. They use creativity to personalize learning for our students in a time of dramatic change in a global economy. Today in education, places and spaces matter more as we deliver education in a new time. We strive to keep the places and spaces that our students spend each day safe, relevant, dynamic, and engaging while staying committed to our budgets. For a moment, imagine the future in our schools. What does this look like for our students? How can we improve our spaces and places and remain fiscally responsible? What do the next 50 years look like here in our students' classrooms? Help us to take a closer look together so that we stay the course fiscally and educationally while we prepare our students for tomorrow's opportunities.
Help us figure this out and create a plan for CAP's future.
Help us identify how we can best prepare the future generation.
Help us to determine our destiny, find happiness, meet our potential,
and define success.
Small group presentations will take place this fall and large community forums will take place this winter. Please join us and let's continue a tradition of excellence. Visit www.vikingnet.org for more information and ongoing dates.
Okay, as we get ready to listen to the 8th grade band that's sitting in front of you now, I wanted to mention a couple of things that I don't have another opportunity to mention to you. Out in the lobby, we have sweatshirts that say Cadillac Bands available for early Christmas purchases. I hate to use that word, but that was on the script. Early Halloween presents. Yeah, that sounds wrong too, doesn't it? Anyway, they're out there, and there's also the opportunity for you to sign up for some volunteer slots for some events that we have coming up. On November 12th, the Solo and Ensemble Festival that about 18 of the students in the two groups are participating in is being held here at our school. And it requires volunteers to work in the kitchen and the concession stand and running and information tables and things like that to make the whole festival work. And there is a sheet out there that you can sign up on, and we'll do the entering in charms so that if you haven't used that before, you don't have to worry about that. Somebody will do it for you. And also on the 12th, the 4,000th, I don't know what it is, annual hobby and craft show that the boosters have been putting on forever is being held at Fox Motors on the same day. Again, very labor intensive, lots of volunteer spots on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday the 12th. So you'll have the opportunity to sign up out there. And because all these kids have to put everything on the stage away after the concert, you can go out there and you can fill out one of the volunteer slots for 2 hours at one of those events while you're waiting for them. Does that sound like a good idea? Okay, now 8th grade band participated with the high school band in some homecoming activities. It was a beautiful day. Yeah. If you were there, you know. It was incredibly wet. The high school band was in the rain for 5.5 straight hours. It was amazing, and these guys participated in everything that the high school band did. They did the dances with the cadences and all that kind of thing, and they played the fight song with them. And so we're going to start with something that they learned this year, the Cadillac fight song. Okay, the next selection is titled Haunted Carousel. And because we're in the month of October and it's getting darker and Halloween is right around the corner, it seemed like a great piece. It's obviously I had ulterior motives that aren't important to anybody, like teaching the kids to play a waltz, having them play in 3/4 time, create some unusual sound effects, sing during the piece. It's a very complicated piece, and I hope they've had fun working on it. So we'll play that for you now. Most musicians find it's really helpful to read a lot because you're constantly being asked to recreate things that you've maybe never experienced. So in this next piece at a Turkish market, the kids have to create that sense of all that busyness and noisiness and different smells and sights and sounds and people, street performers and dancing and all that kind of thing, without ever having been to one. So they have to use their imagination and apply that to this wonderful piece that we're going to complete our program with. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and the kids will be done as soon as everything's back in the band room. Thanks so much for being here.